The Thunder have officially robbed the NBA as they got the absolute steal of the 2025 NBA draft in Thomas Sorber. Look, I know I told you guys they're going to trade up. A trade is happening, all right? A trade is still going to happen at some point. A trade did happen tonight. The Thunder traded pick number 24 to the Sacramento Kings for the Spurs 2027 top 2027 picks, 1 through 6, 1 through 16 protected. It should convey in 2027. The Spurs should be a contending team by then, so we should get that pick to help fill up some roster spaces down the line in 2027 and further on. Now, we still do have this roster problem of having 16 guys we're paying for now, all right, paying salaries, but you can only have 15. We have that problem. It might just now get solved after Summer League, as you can have 21 players during the offseason. So it's probably just going to get solved during Summer League, all right? Summer League, just see how everyone plays and be like, we don't like this guy. We should, let's go in and trade him, get a pick or two for him, like a 2 second round picks, or maybe even a first if we're lucky. And then we put Thomas Sorber right there. But he is going to be the steal of the draft, all right? He is going to be the steal of the draft. I'm going to explain to you guys why in today's video, breaking it down. Before we get into all that, though, quick moment, recognize that we hit 4,000 subscribers. Just yesterday, on June 24th, we were at 3,500 subs. In a matter of a day, you guys got us 500 subscribers over here at Thunder Digest, and I am beyond blessed and, ecstatic for that. So just, once again, thank you everyone that has subscribed already. If you aren't subscribed already, go ahead. This is one of the faster growing Thunder channels out here. Join the, family over here so you don't miss a single minute of the news and action regarding your 2025 NBA champions. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder's first round draft pick. Pick number 15, Thomas Sorber from Georgetown. He is someone I wrote about in an article. And look, I'll go ahead and pull the picture of him being drafted. All right, boom. Thunder selected Georgetown's Thomas Sorber. All right, we know this. All right, cool. That's awesome. But do we actually know who he is? Do we actually know the kind of player Thomas Sorber is? Well, I wrote about him a little bit a while back, and you're going to notice, I am the source for this one. All right? Thomas Sorber had quite the freshman season. The 19-year-old scored 14.5 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game in the Big East Conference. Now, I might be saying this name wrong, so you guys please tell me in the comment section below how it's pronounced, all right? Standing at 6'10" tall, Sorber would serve as Isaiah Hartenstein's future replacement. Hartenstein has 1 guaranteed year left on his contract, and the final year is a team option. Depending on extensions for Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams, the Thunder could decline the option. Sorber is a defensive monster, and Oklahoma City has put defense back on the map. As a center, he also averaged 1.5 steals a game, which should have the Thunder front office salivating. They would not be drafting him for his offensive talent, as there is little to be impressed by. Instead, they would focus on him being an enforcer down low when Hartenstein leaves and Holmgren needs rest. Sorber would be a great fit if he falls and Singway goes on the lottery. Singway did go on the lottery. I wanted Queen beforehand as well. Queen went at pick number 13. I am still kind of upset, a little bit salty that the Thunder ended up not getting Derek Queen, as I truly think he was the best fit for the Thunder coming down to it. It was between him and Singway. It was very close. I think Queen was just a better fit, better pick overall. I saw him falling a little bit. I thought he would have ended up there. New Orleans took him for some reason. We'll see if that plays out. New Orleans and Utah just had absolutely horrible drafts, in my opinion, as they took Jeremiah Fears when they have Jordan Poole, Trey Murphy, and Herb Jones. Jeremiah Fears just isn't going to play at all for that team now, so we'll see what happens there. Same with Derek Queen. There's no telling. But getting Sorber is still a good option, as I might even go as far to say he might be better than Common Malawak, all right? I think Common kind of got the hype due to the fact he played at Duke. He's still great. He still's a lottery pick, in my opinion. Sorber might be a little bit better than him, though. He might be a little bit better than him if we're getting down to it. I don't want to hype him up just because he got drafted by the Thunder, but it's kind of the clips I see of him, his defensive prowess, everything that he does all the little things. He hustles. He makes diving plays. He's going to fit right in with OKC. Also, he's not a bad passer either. He has a knack for passing. I'm pretty sure he averaged 2 assists at Georgetown as well. He's going to play under Hartenstein for a year, have Hartenstein mentor him a little bit, learn under him, watch his game, kind of develop the same way Hartenstein does. It'll be a problem. He'll turn into a monster. This is going to end up being the absolute steal of the draft. Go and take a look at some other stuff here. Right here, this is an interesting stat that I saw. All right. This, adjusted defensive rating. When he's on the court, his team's defensive rating is 92.2. That is a great defensive rating to have. A great defensive rating to have, all right? Off the court, it's 110.8. That means they're giving up 110.8 points per game, okay? His defensive efficient field goal percentage, 45.2% off, 56% for his team. So every single time he's on the court, you're noticing something right here. Every time he's on the court, his team is a better defense. They're better defensively when he is on the court compared to off. And it's not by a little margin, it's by a ton. The difference in defensive rating is 18.6. That's a huge margin. Some players, it's usually only like 5 or 6. The fact it's almost at 20 is absolutely insanity. Insanity right there. So he is a great player. He's going to fit in very well. The defense is there. All right. It's just offensively, he has a little bit to improve. He's good in the mid-range. He has a good pick and roll scheme. He's a decent passer as well. It's just, it needs to be refined a little bit. There's good shooting mechanics, so there could be the option to develop him into a better three-point shooter, to use him out there, truly, use our spread offense that we love to use. I think the biggest thing, though, is turn him into a better dribble handoff player. Hartenstein has been initiating a ton of offense. He was last season at the top of the key, having the ball, dribble handoff right there, boom, and then rolling as well, setting a mini screen right there. If you could teach Thomas Sorber to do the same thing, it's going to be a problem. It will truly run the league for years and years. He's also only 19 years old. He is going to be a problem for everyone. And somehow they let Oklahoma City get him as well. They also almost had the 24th overall pick before they traded it. Okay. It's just, like I said, you didn't really need to do anything there. It was going to create more roster problems for you. 17 players being paid. You have to trade away 2 guys now. Now you only have to worry about 1, and it turns into a summer league problem. In my opinion, the more I think about it, more I talk about it with other people as well, it turns into a summer league problem. All right? Whoever plays the worst in summer league that's on contract, that might be the person you trade away. Whether, I don't know if Jang can play in it anymore, whether that's Usman Jang, Dylan Jones, AJ Mitchell, hell, even Nikola Topic, even though I don't think we should trade Nikola Topic. I think Nikola Topic using Thomas Sorber screens, all right, they're going to run the summer league, and they might win the summer league, which is crazy to think about. But that's a problem for another time. Some other things that, we can talk about right here. All right, here are his stats. Like we said, he's a great player. In 24 games played for Georgetown, he had 14.5 points, 8.5 total rebounds, 2.4 assists. He might have ended up playing more. This is what my, the basketball reference link on my article took me to right here. So this is what it had me down for. 53% from the field. I know 16% from 3 is horrible. You don't want to see that. However, the free throw numbers show a little bit of a, hey, you might have something there. 72% from the free throw line. Not bad. Not bad at all, especially for a big man of his calibers. 6'10", 255 pounds. That is a big frame. Not to mention he has, I think, a 7'6" wingspan. He has go-go gadget arms out there. He is getting everything and anything out there on the court. 2.4 assists, like I mentioned. He's an absolute unit. This was a great pick by the Thunder. Did I think they were going to trade the picks either for more future picks or up in the draft and go get the guy that they absolutely wanted? Yes. However, I think they had this plan of, okay, here are 3 guys. And, I think Sorber might have been at the top of their list. So they saw him fall. Like, look, let's just see if he falls to 15 at that point instead of having to make a pointless trade right now. So I think that's what they did. It would have been a pointless trade. You would have tried to trade a player as well to free up that roster spot for Sorber. Now it's one of those things where, look, he fell to us at 15. Let's go ahead and take him. That's the guy we wanted anyways. We'll turn it into a summer league thing where everyone's going to be competing against him to figure out who's going to get this 15th roster spot. As now that is the biggest problem Oklahoma City has. And that is a good problem to have. That means you have so many good players on your team that it's got to the point where, look, we draft so well, we can't keep everyone now. So it's a good problem to have. So moral of the story, Thunder got the steal of the night with Thomas Sorber at the 15th pick overall. A lot of people are outraged by that. They shouldn't, oh my goodness, how can they let the league get Thomas Sorber? They can just replace Hartenstein after his contract is up in OKC. And then they trade for a future first round pick in 2027. It's a top, 16 protected pick. It's from the Spurs, so I'm expecting that to convey to the Thunder, as by that time, the Spurs should be ready to contend in the Western Conference. That's all I got for this video. Let me know what you guys personally thought of, the Thunder's draft tonight, and who you thought the winners and losers of the NBA draft were. So I got. See you guys in the next one.